Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to this FSB National Webinar and a subject which I know is going to be of interest to us all today on marketing and how we can make the best use of marketing to attract new clients as well as keep the ones we've got. My name is Sam Holliday and I'm one of the FSB's development managers. I cover Gloucestershire and the west of England, but I'm delighted to see that we've got people from all around the country here today and you're all extremely welcome. The way we're doing it this morning is I'll very shortly be handing over to Anne, who you can see here. Anne brings with her 30 years of experience in branding, in marketing, in PR, and all the other aspects that are important when it comes to marketing. She's from a company called ActionCOACH in Cheltenham, and I'm sure she'll be happy to tell you a little bit about that during the course of her presentation. The way we're doing it today is this is a webinar, so we can't see you all, but we know you're all out there. But we really want your questions. So if you'd like to put questions, if you look at the bottom of your screen, you'll see a Q&A box. Pop your questions in there, and then I'll do my best to ask Anne them towards the end of her presentation. If you're wondering, by the way, some of you using Zoom a lot might use the chat function a lot. We're not using that today because we find that people find it a little bit distracting when there's presentations going on. So anything that you want to talk to us about, pop it in the Q&A button and we'll get to it towards the end. Before I just hand over to Anne, just to let you know, this session is being recorded. So if you can't see all or you want to catch up on it later, it'll be on our FSB On Demand section, which includes all the webinars we've done. Well worth a look. And if you are an FSB member, we'd always recommend you pop into the website whenever you can for the latest news and also just to find out about the amazing benefits you've got to hand. And of course, if you're not a member, well, you're also very welcome to our website to see what our membership could bring you. So there you go. We'd love you to enjoy the next hour. I think it's going to be a very good session and Anne's very keen to share it with you. Get those questions in the Q&A and we'll look forward to passing them on your behalf later. So without any further ado, it gives me great pleasure to hand over to Anne Wall for our Marketing for Growth webinar. Over to you, Anne. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sam, for that warm welcome. I'm delighted so many of you have been able to join us for this joint FSB and ActionCOACH Cheltenham session. We're just going to make sure, we're just going to ask Leslie so that we're able to share our screen, because apparently we're just getting a little pop-up. Sorry, Leslie, that we're not able to share our screen in this PowerPoint presentation with you yet. So if you could just arrange that for us, that would be amazing. Let's see, just give us a moment. If that could happen, please, at the FSB end. You are screen sharing. Okay, that's fantastic. Thank you. So a big welcome. Okay, so my background is, for nearly 30 years in sales and marketing and particularly events. And I've worked for across the board from SMEs right through to some well-known company names here, PLCs that many of you will know. And if any of you have been to Hong Kong, the iconic convention and exhibition centre there, I was marketing director there in the 90s. And so I've worked with marketing at all different levels and across the world, in Dubai and Singapore, the States, and a lot in London. So I hope that that will bring some sort of experience for you today. Now my role here is at ActionCOACH Cheltenham. We are the world's #1 business coaching company. We're the most successful. We currently coach 88 different countries, and we coach 20,000 businesses every week. Some of our clients, where we work out of in Cheltenham, and here they are, and feel free to check them out on our YouTube or on our website. You can hear from them, read what they've got to say about business coaching. They come to us for a number of reasons, to secure business knowledge and expertise for business growth. They could have been in business for a number of years or just a few. But what we work with our clients, our business owner clients, is to achieve a business that can work without you. So if you just think about that for a moment, that could be, and that's on pretty much a 5-year program, between a 3 and a 5-year program. So to work to a business that can work without you might be that you sell it, or you have legacy in mind that you want your children to inherit it, or you might just want a passive income. So you can go and play golf, tour the world, whatever you want to do with your business. But all our clients jump on board with that, and we help them with things like their team, their leadership skills, their sales and marketing, of course, expertise, the finances around their business. And we always say, be careful what you wish for when you join ActionCOACH, because just without exception, our business clients are thriving despite the obvious challenges that we've had in the last couple of years. And just to give you an example, the lady in the top right is called Cheney. So she runs a fabulous M&M promotions that do sort of branded gifts and so forth. And when Cheney came to us only, I think, a year and a half, 2 years ago, she was working from my kitchen table and just wanted to invest in herself. And she said, right, what I don't want to employ anyone, and I don't want an office. And she's now nearly quadrupled turnover. She's about to hit 1 million. She is recruiting people. She's got a great team around her now, and she's about to move to a bigger office. And the good thing is she's loving it. But do feel free to check out any of our clients and what business coaching has done for them. But why have you joined today? Why are we here talking about marketing in particular for business growth? So we hear a lot about, we think there's a lot of confusion around marketing. We hear a lot about, oh, I think it's advertising, or what shall I post on social media, or what's branding? A lot of confusion around there. So what we've done is put together this presentation that leads to a workshop. And the goal I hope that you can get today is that we want some clarity. We'd like you to have some clarity about your marketing. Even if you're starting up, if you're just joining, if you're a startup, or you've been in business for a few years and you may be getting a bit rusty, or whatever, you need to revisit your marketing, get clarity. Because with clarity will bring confidence. And then you won't be scrabbling around going, what shall I do? What shall I post? You will know how that confidence to deliver that. And then we'll give you those light bulb moments to give you that clarity. Marketing is like the engine room of a business. Marketing will lead to business growth because marketing is right at the heart of everything you do and will affect your sales. So we are seeing exceptional business growth with our clients, and we think it's a lot to do with their sales and marketing, which of course we support them with. But before we start diving a bit deeper into what it is, let's get it really, really clear in our minds. What is marketing? Now, you'll hear lots of different things that are out there about what it is. Now, after my 30 years experience, I've heard lots of different definitions, but this is the one I particularly like. And this comes from a chap called Seth Godin. Many of you, I'm sure, will know Seth Godin. He's called a marketing guru. He's a New Yorker. He has a brilliant podcast. He's an international best-selling author on marketing. And Seth Godin says, if it touches the market, it's marketing. So if we just stop and have a little think about that, if it touches the market, it's marketing. That means that everything your business is doing right now out there in the marketplace is marketing. And so a good exercise, what we do when we bring in new clients to ActionCOACH Cheltenham, is we have an audit. We ask them to do a marketing audit. What exactly is out there at the moment? For sure, you've got a website. You're probably doing some social media. Have you dabbled with sponsorship? Are you doing any advertising? Have you done direct mail? Have you tried telemarketing? And what about you? You as the business owner, how do you portray your business? It's all part of the marketing. But where to start? And actually, this is key, even if you've been in business for a few years. We also ask our clients to watch this very, very famous TED Talk. And I would urge you to do the same, by a chap called Simon Sinek. And this is start with your why. Now, what we mean by that is a lot of businesses out there base their marketing, base their message, how they communicate with the world on what they do. And you'll see it. It's we do this, we do that, we've got these great offices, we've got a great team, we've got these opening hours. What you do. The best businesses communicate on why they do what they do. So they work from the inside out. And so after this session, I would urge you to go back and just check on all your marketing messages. Are you talking too much about what you do and less about why you do? Let me give you an example. We have a fantastic client called Matthew, who runs a very, very successful accountancy firm in Gloucester. He's got, I think, about 3,000 clients. Now, what he does, okay, he might do payroll, he might do tax returns. How he does that is some brilliant accountancy services. But why is he doing what he does? Why does he do that for his clients? And we've worked with Matthew on this. Matthew gives his clients, could be reassurance. If you're not great at your numbers, not great at your accountancy, it's reassurance. You've got some experts in charge of your money. It could give his clients choice. Wow, okay, by how and what he does, that's given me the choice to retire early, to invest more into my business, to invest in new premises, to invest in another satellite business. Choices and why you do what you do and reassurance is a far more powerful message for Matthew to base his marketing on than, okay, we'll do your payroll. It's not so exciting, is it? Why you do what you do. So have a check on your marketing after you've watched that video by Simon Sinek and check that that's the message you're delivering. Once you've done that, and it's a really, getting your why is not just for you as the business owner or the leader, it should be done with your whole team. Everybody's on board. Everybody knows why they're coming into work every day. And it's not just to earn the salary, that's the result of what you do. Why do you get up every day? Why are you running your business? Because when you've got that core inside your marketing and why you do what you do, you can start thinking about your key messages. You may have more than one. For sure, you'll have more messages. We have, for example, here we have 14 key messages, so many that we rank them. Some aren't so important. You know, the fact that we deliver dreams in terms of lifestyle and business goals is number one. The fact that we're accredited and we've won lots of business awards is pretty high up there too. The fact that we're philanthropic and we give things to charity is less of an interest, so we rank them. And when you're starting to think about your key messages with your why in mind, you can really dig deep and think, what are you really delivering? So think of that with Matthew. Are you delivering VAT return, or are you delivering choice or dreams or investment opportunities? And so what are your key messages? You've got to start thinking about what are you delivering? What are you offering that other people aren't offering? What's going to make you stand out to your competitors? What's going to make you different? All of those are well worth sitting down with your team and working out before you even start thinking about how you're going to get those messages out. Understanding your customer. And we like this, that you literally take a walk in your customer's shoes. Take a walk in your customer's shoes and you will get to know, you should get to know absolutely everything about them. What's their pain? What's their problem? What are they hoping you're going to deliver with your service or your product or your promise? Who and where is your ideal customer? Now, we've chosen the word ideal there specifically because it may be that you've inherited some customers, or you're not quite reaching the person that you want. Because once you've worked out your ideal customer, we talk about marketing to the sweet spot. So you need to know their demographic. So that's, are they male, female, their age. Where are they? Are they regional? Are they national? Are they international? It may be, we're seeing a lot of development with companies who, because of the pandemic, have had to pivot their marketing to be more online. They're setting up subscription services. So they've gone from regional to national. And where does your ideal customer, and a fun game actually is to actually draw up a picture of that person or give them a name. So I know, for example, one of our customers has a female, she's called Fiona, she's mid-40s, they know where she shops. This is obviously imaginary, but it makes it more real and tangible when you are doing your marketing to think of your Fiona. Where does she shop? What car does she drive? What does she do at the weekend? Has she got kids? Is she hanging out at the school gates? Is she going to the gym? Is she playing tennis? Is she a dog walker? To give you another example, we have a client, John, who's a very successful wealth management consultant. And he was doing brilliant, really top quality brochures. Great. That's not for everybody to do some very expensive direct mail pieces. You probably wouldn't want to do that if you were sending nationally or didn't have the budget. But then he knew that his clients, who were men of a certain age, were very into their cars, cars and watches. So he found a car rally kind of place, and at a weekend, and he took up a pop-up store there, pop-up kind of thing, and he was the only wealth management person there. And he was able to do face-to-face marketing with his ideal client at a weekend, and got more out of that six-day event than he had the rest of the year. So it's knowing about where they are and how to reach them in the right way and at the right time will start narrowing or getting your marketing more focused. So for example, if you've got a more elderly ideal customer, they may not be on social media. Don't assume just because you're on social media or you've got your team who are doing your marketing for you and they're great at social media, if you've got a much more elderly ideal customer, you may not be posting on TikTok or Instagram. Don't assume. So know everything about your customer. So far, we've dug deep. You'll know your why. You've worked out your key messages and possibly ranked them, because you may be doing B2B and B2C. You know who your ideal customer is based on their pain and what they want out of you. Now you can start thinking about your marketing toolkit. So your toolkit is all your different options. And we've got, at the end, actually, we've got a free download for you. We've given you 101 ways to market your business, but there are more because I had to narrow it down, actually. Start thinking, getting your marketing toolkit, including your team, who's going to do the marketing for you. And then you can start looking at what we call the marketing mix. The marketing mix, guess what, is absolutely what it says on the tin. It's a mix of all the marketing streams that you can choose to send out your key messages on. It may be advertising, but again, you've got to think back to where is your potential customer or your ideal client. If you want to put all your marketing budget into a one-page ad in the Sunday Times, go for it, because if you're absolutely sure that you're going to get your ROI, your return on investment on that. I did some marketing consultancy a few years ago for an interior designer, and she worked in a small market town. And that was enough for her. She wanted to work part-time. She was confident that she would get enough business for her lifestyle, small business out of this marketing town. Great. But I was not going to go and suggest to her, go and do pay-per-click advertising on Google, national TV ads, branded buses. That's not going to work. But to do some fabulous brochures, some things locally, some local sponsorship, and a really good referral scheme suited her business, and how to reach that potential customer. So always think back, especially on the social media, is my potential client on that channel? Because your social media is not your strategy, it's just another way of meeting those people. And then the great thing, I'm hoping that by definition of jumping on this FSB, that you're a smallish company. What I would then do, if you're new or looking at your marketing in a different way, is do smaller campaigns. Small companies are brilliant because you and us we can change, we can pivot, we can move really quickly. Use that to your advantage, and start working on campaigns that you can change if something in your marketplace changes, if there are new rules, if there's a new product. Know your marketplace and what's happening there, and use the fact that you can be pretty agile in your marketing to outsmart the bigger people. And talking of smart, use your campaigns via SMART goals. What I mean by campaigns is, so when I look at a marketing campaign, well, I put together here at ActionCOACH Cheltenham our marketing campaign for the year, in fact, almost 2 years. But we have individual campaigns throughout that time. Because they're just easier to sort of get into your mind. They're easier to measure. So for example, we are inviting at our expense to do a brilliant seminar from a chap called Andy Bounds. Andy Bounds is the UK sales trainer of the year in the UK. Some of you may know him. He's written some brilliant books. There's one called Jelly Communication that Sticks. And Andy is, I suppose, famous for, he's won all sorts of awards. His mother is blind. And so he's grown up since being a little boy of communicating on her behalf. And that gives incredible insight into the sort of empathy and understanding the world and communicating from somebody else's point of view. So I'm working at the moment on that. That's Monday, 13th of June, to give you a quick plug on that. If you're able to join our Andy Bounds seminar, it's free, but that's one little campaign that I'm working on. And so I will think, okay, well, who needs to know about our Andy Bounds? Those people, companies who want to improve their sales. Okay, well, let's look at who that is. Have we got the budget to do a direct mail piece? Yeah. Have we got a bit of budget to put on Facebook advertising? Possibly. Let's have a look. And so I work on different campaigns. You, by the nature of your businesses, may have seasonal patterns to your selling and marketing. Maybe you need to do a fantastic promotion just before Christmas, or you've got some big news, you're running a big event in September. Work backwards from that event, launch, whatever it may be, on these campaigns and make them smart. And so by that we mean specific. What exactly are you trying to achieve? And here at ActionCOACH Cheltenham, we're very goal driven. So everything has a goal. And so we encourage our clients that, you know, I don't know if Sam had a goal of how many people he wanted on this call today, that sort of thing. What exactly are you trying to achieve from that? Do you want people into your new shop? How many? Or do you want 50? Do you want 50 new leads next month? Could be anything. Measurable. How are you going to measure that? It sounds so obvious, but again, you've got to test and measure the key to your business growth. Otherwise, you're sort of floundering, going, well, I spent all this money and I don't know where it went. Attainable. Can you actually do it with the people you've got around you? If it's just you as a one-man band, you know, you might be a bit limited in what you can do. You might be able only to do 2 marketing methods, but if you've got a whole team or you've got an agency working for you, dream big, dream big and see if you can do it. Is it relevant? Is it going to really achieve your long-term business growth goals? We work on 1-year, 3-year and 5-year goals. Is it leading towards that end goal? And is it time bound? Obviously an event or a launch is something that's very time bound. But work to those SMART goals, and like we say, test and measure. And this is quite often overlooked. And I think maybe this is, I'd be interested to hear what you think about this. Maybe it's the nature of entrepreneurs, you entrepreneurs and great business owners out there. We tend to be moving pretty fast going forward. Sometimes we're not so great at looking backwards and measure, going, oh, I did this great campaign. No, I haven't got time. I'm thinking about the next thing. And I'm definitely one of that. Test and measure. And how do you do that? If your phone is ringing, who's asking the right question? How did you hear about us? And if you hear, oh, the internet, well, that's not good enough. Well, what, without being, you know, stopping at a great sales call coming in, but okay, were you Google searching on that, or did you get a recommendation from one of our existing clients? And of course, if you are paying for any advertising or pay-per-click or any sort of Facebook or direct mail pieces, you've got to test and measure that in your budget. So I'm hoping that the last few moments have given you some clarity. So I would encourage you to look at your why, work out your why, check in with your marketing already on your audit. What are your key messages? What are you really delivering? Check your marketing already. Is it more about you and not enough about what's in it for your clients? And really dig deep on your ideal client. And ask your existing clients, if you've got a fabulous relationship with your existing clients, ask them, if you don't already know, why they came to you. Why didn't they go? Get a questionnaire out there, get on the phone, get talking to people. Thank goodness we can get out there now and talk to people. Go and do a pop-up shop, do a market stall, run an event, do a networking, do a coffee. All these sorts of things are brilliant at getting feedback about you, your business, where you can improve and what you can do better. Before I take some questions, which I'm looking forward to, we do have a gift for you, 2 gifts actually, as a thank you for joining us today. So I mentioned it before, we've got a download, 101 ways to market your business. And then, because we run a marketing for business growth workshop here in Cheltenham. And those of you, I know Sam's very keen on Cheltenham. For those of you who don't know us, we're a lovely spa town in Gloucestershire. And we have a 1-day workshop at a really nice hotel. And also we include a really good lunch as well. But we'd love to give you this exclusive SFB offer of £100 off. The event takes place in October. We would love to see you there. We dig really deep on case studies, real life examples of what you can do in your marketing, and you will leave with your own marketing plan. And so I don't know if you want to take a screenshot or take a photograph, just email us on that address, cheltenham@actioncoach.co.uk with FSB yes, and you'll be sent a special link and get those. But if you're happy with what you've heard, would love to hear what you thought about that, what you're already doing in your marketing, what you think you can improve, where you might need some help, and yeah, we'd love to hear some questions from you.
Thank you so much for that, Anne. That was very, very interesting. And we have had some questions start to come in. For those that arrived a little bit late, and know people are coming and going, put all your questions in our question and answer session, because we haven't got the chat function working at the moment, because we didn't want it to distract from the presentation. So I'll just go through the questions as I see them. The first one was actually from Andy. Steer thought this session was at 1 o'clock, but you found the right time in the end, Andy, so we're glad you're here. Anonymous attendee, I'm a service-based business, local face-to-face. I'm a business with a niche in pregnancy. Which media platforms are the most effective for gaining local clientele? Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, whatever. What do you think are the best and most effective media platforms?
Okay. Well, again, it goes right back to your clients and customers. So I'm guessing, so this person has said, I'm a business with a niche in pregnancy. Okay, actually, I love that, because that is niche, and we know exactly who your clients are. I think I'm right in saying I'm guessing that they are pregnant ladies. Okay, so, and just because you're local, okay, so let's address this in two ways. You're local, I would question that. Are you local at the moment with dreaming to be regional or national? Because if you are, you can then, if you're dreaming of being national, if your product or whatever it is could be national, you can look at all the things around pregnancy. So there are consumer magazines you could try. There will be chat rooms, there will be things, there will be podcasts. I'm seriously into podcasts. There will be things out on social media that are dedicated to pregnancy. Now, I don't know, you haven't mentioned what your product is. If that can solve the problem for a pregnant lady, so say, for example, I will take a random guess here that you're doing papooses, something like that, you know, the things. Obviously, you're doing face-to-face, so you could show people that how it works, but I would be talking about the benefits of that. Okay, so a fabulous papoose that is going to not ruin your back. And by not ruining your back, you're going to sleep really well. You're going to have a much easier pregnancy, or I suppose birth after that, that sort of thing. How can you solve the problem for your pregnant lady customer? And how are you going to get that across? And where are they? You will know by meeting. The brilliant thing about face-to-face, ask them. So if you are at a market stall, a networking event, ask them and follow them. And you see what the chat they're saying. If they are all on Instagram, you get on Instagram and answer their questions. Find out where they are. It's not about where you are. Where is your customer currently, and go for those channels and do that really, really well.
Thank you for that, and I think there might be some more questions that are similar coming up as well. Neil Campbell, welcome Neil. He's put a couple of questions in, so I'll combine them if that's okay. He says, I'm setting up in ESG sustainability, which covers all sectors. How do you identify your ideal customer when they can be across all sectors? And he also asks, what's the best channels for your marketing mix with little or no budget? So 2 points there. How do you identify your ideal customer when you can be across any or all sectors? And with a small budget, what's the best channels for a marketing mix?
Yeah, okay. Okay. I would still not challenge that, but okay, so the more niche you can go across, I would kind of question that you're across everything with everybody. I would look at, again, who your service or your product is really helping. What are you really about? And by definition, you will find that ideal customer. it's difficult to know without knowing more about that actual product. And feel free to send me, if he wants to, just email me separately and I can give him a quick session. I need to understand more about his business actually before being able to answer that properly. So if you want to, is it Neil, feel free to email me on that and I will have a look at your website and we can have a chat, free chat after this event. And because I want to answer that better, to be honest, but I can answer your little budget. You don't advertise. Definitely. Sorry if there are any advertising agencies on here. I'm not a great fan of advertising. Use the free tools that you can. And that's a brilliant business thing about marketing at the moment, that social media, if your ideal customer is on there, it's not free because, of course, you need to have the time and the expertise and the person to do it properly. But again, it's sometimes a question of thinking small. So you can go, I tend to go, if you're start-off business, start off locally, regionally, nationally, then you can dream about the international. And so look at, also a great way of starting off is just look at your existing customers. If you're, so Neil, hopefully I'll find out more about your business. If you've got some core customers now and they like what you do and your product or your service, are they happy to recommend you to others? Because referral, and people talk about word of mouth as if it's just going to magically happen. Sadly, it doesn't. A referral system still needs some work. There's still got to be in it. You might have to thank those people that refer you, but that's a really good way of just starting your networking and get out there. There must be industry events, exhibitions, trade events, trade publications in your industry that you can start commenting on. You can start reading about, share that on your social media and start getting that network around you that is B2B that will then turn into clients.
Thank you for that. And Neil, as Anne says, networking. The FSB does plenty of it. It's all free. You're welcome to any of them. Because what I always say to people about networking is you may not want to deal directly, or they might not want to deal directly with the 25 people you see on the screen, but they've all got 500 contacts on LinkedIn, so it's definitely worth networking.
Yes, I love that. I love that. I always say you never know who knows who.
Oh no, absolutely not. George Whitaker, he has a similar question about what are the best free cheap marketing methods for sole trader with limited time. I think you've kind of answered that really, but it's about time is a factor, isn't it? And so it's using what is out there, finding something comfortable and finding the best response. But is that what you would say, Anne? Yeah,
definitely. And I would say try and have, even if you're a small business, try and have the mentality sometimes of a bigger one. If you're an expert in what you do, I'm sure you all are, you will know things and have value added things, information that you can share with others. Because if you can put yourself out there at a networking event, at a coffee, at an online thing, at a chat thing, whatever it is, if you can give advice or save people money, save people time, that is a brilliant way to start growing that database. We should probably, Sam, as well, talk about e-marketing, which I also love. Maybe I'll mention that in a minute. Start offering things for free. Add some value to your potential customer. Like my example before of Matthew, okay, so he's saving, Matthew, the accountant in Gloucester, he's saving you time and money. How powerful is that? And then if he just posts that to his, I think he's got 4,000 on Facebook, that's a powerful message. Hey, guess what? I could save you now. Do you want to leave? Do you want to leave the office early on Friday? Leave at 3 o'clock. Go cycling. Yeah, I do. Okay, let me take on your books. It kind of not quite so simple as that. But be an expert. Give advice. Give information and value-added advice for free. I'm delighted to say we've got loads and loads of questions, so we might have to do some a bit more brief, Anne, but I'm glad we've left time for that because that's what it's all about. One anonymous attendee says, what would be the best way to build trust in your business? Is it giving away lots of hints and tips, or is there another way? Well, I think you've said about the hints or tips, but any other way to build trust? Oh gosh, what a fantastic question. I absolutely love that, because trust is So especially to B2B and service, my goodness, because if you can't feel a tangible item or a product, trust is so integral to a lot of businesses. Trust, one of my favorite things is under promise, over deliver. Under promise, over deliver, because, and there's, when customers are thinking about you, there's a thing called see it, suss it. They're still measuring you up against other competitors. So what you've got to be able to do is deliver exactly what you say when you say. So even if they contacted you and they say, oh, I'd love to hear more about you, and you go, okay, I'll try and get that to you by Friday, get it to them on Thursday. Do everything that you can do better, and that starts the trust. Does that make sense?
It makes perfect sense. Another anonymous attendee asked, if we email for the download, will we sign up for a newsletter? I'm not sure whether you mean FSB or ActionCOACH, but both of us are very keen to hear from anybody, and just go onto our website so you'll find out more. Just
the download is just one link. We can send you that. No, you're not signing up for a newsletter, but you will get 101 ways to market your business.
Excellent. Rita Coley said this, the confusion for me is this: before I work out my ideal client, I'm aiming for more brand awareness in my town because that's where my aim is. Once I have enough clients, then I can work out who my ideal client is. Therefore, I've done a mixture of letter drops, community events, and social media. Is this the wrong way round? So she's gathering the clients to identify the ideal client rather than identifying an ideal client in advance. Does that make sense? Is she doing it the right way round?
Yes, because even I still think she needs to get that sweet spot in her mind, her ideal. Keep marketing to that sweet spot. Invariably, she will get people who are not quite in that sweet spot, but because you will spread too thin across your marketing if you're trying to be everything to everybody, if that makes sense. But I love the idea of brand, and she's trying them all. I would, was it Rita? I would say test and measure. Test and measure, which is sometimes quite hard on things like direct mail. What exactly? So when you've got that customer, where exactly did they hear about you? It might be because again, back to that marketing mix, they may have seen you sponsor an event. They may have heard about you on the school gate. They may have, invariably, they may have heard you about different ways, but keep testing and measuring, get to your sweet spot, keep marketing to that sweet spot, but invariably you'll get other types of client too.
Brilliant. Well, we've got so many questions, and I'm going to say to you, let's try 1 minute answers. I know that's going to be difficult.
Sorry.
So we get as many as we can. No, it's all good stuff. And some of the things you're saying, answer some of the questions anyway. Neil Prentice has asked, is there a minimum size for a marketing campaign? I'm not sure which to use yet, and I don't want to overspend on one avenue.
Is there a minimum size? Does he mean in terms of how many people is he reaching, or minimum budget?
I'm not entirely sure. It could be budget, or it could be minimum size for marketing one particular sphere. He says,
okay,
if you don't want to overspend on one avenue, he says.
Okay, I would, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Try 2, 3, 4, or 5. Depends on your team around you and how much time you've got. Don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Excellent. An anonymous attendee says, we're a web design company, so have a broad range of customers, different locations, different business size. It's difficult to pinpoint an ideal customer. Would you therefore think a few variations of ideal customers might make more sense for us?
Absolutely. If you're a web design company and you can offer it pretty much to a load of people, work out if you're doing it regionally, or again, you might do sector. You might do women in business. You might do startups. You might do by particular product. You may have a particular expertise. Maybe one person in your team is passionate about racehorses. Do that. Get more niche, but offer the full. But then your marketing is: are you a woman in business? Are you passionate about horses and need a website? Do it that way.
Excellent. Another anonymous attendee here says, I think we can all relate to this to a certain extent. How do I attract more new visitors to my web page and shop? I currently attract clients through my Facebook, but they tend to be friends or friends of friends. How do we get to those people that we have got no connection with?
Well, again, that's back to the marketing mix. They should probably speak to the web designers. who are on this call, because that's another whole other area. I'm sure you deliver on SEO and that sort of thing. I would challenge that person and say, do you really need people going to your website? Of course you do, but again, look at the different ways you can reach them. If it's friends and family, look at your goals, look at what you've got, what can you make more of? Is it really the website, new people that you need? Again, it's that marketing mix, get our download.
Excellent. Yeah. Two questions. I can always bring these together. One's from an anonymous attendee, and another's from Yvonne Tajok. The anonymous attendee said, we're a small arts education charity with a very good relationship with our clients, but want to branch out more. How do we get to a bigger audience? And Yvonne Tajok says, I'm a new life and business coach looking for best way to gain clients. I will work on identifying my ideal client, but are there any other tips you can consider, considering this is a service offering rather than a tangible product? So two slightly different ones, but same things, trying to get to new people and target new customers.
Yeah, it's interesting that this is coming across, isn't it? It's this kind of new people, make more of what you got. That goes back to the previous question. Start asking your existing customers who are fans of yours, hopefully, use testimonials, use case studies, ask for referrals from your existing customers, because it's very easy for us to say, oh, our business is great, where of course you're going to come. Use referrals and other people's testimonials. It's much more powerful, people saying that you're great rather than you saying you're great.
Excellent. We've got so many. I've never had this many questions for one of these events. So we'll
I've got my branded mug that you'd be disappointed to hear that I didn't have in my cup of tea. We can keep going.
You have a quick sip. Yeah, we'll try and get through as many as we can. If we can't get to finishing by 12, I apologise, but we'll try what we can. I'm a sole trader. This is an anonymous attendee. My first year of business as a ghostwriter and content writer for businesses. How do I balance the mammoth task that is marketing alongside everything else in the business without compromising on the work I do? How does he get the marketing in while still actually trying to do the work?
Oh, that's a great question, because I know that that's a brilliant question, because that actually, I think, would resonate with everybody. You should, in an ideal business, you should be spending half your time on your sales and marketing. And I can hear people going, you know, like that, really, really hard. Just again, be focused. So ghostwriter, I just choose, is it easier for you to get in with, maybe do a link or a collaboration with an agency that needs writers. So you've got, I would do that, get some retainers going on there. So less, get a few clients that can offer you a lot of business, so you can get on with your core skill of writing rather than your marketing.
Excellent. Davey Hay says, if you have a team that's not particularly marketing savvy, what are the ways to encourage them to be more outward looking? Good question. Very good question. That.
Good question. Obviously, I would say employ a great marketing person. But if you're going to start, okay, so yeah, you need to all as a team sit down and look at, again, your why, your core values, what is it about you and your marketing messages. Mostly it's always better to have someone in the team to do your marketing for you. We find that, I might get into trouble here, but if you're using a marketing agency, that's got to be really handled well, because what you could do is spend a lot of your time delivering those things to the marketing agency to do the marketing for you. Get everything, train somebody in your team, but get all on board with those key messages, and everything you say when you're out at a drinks party or a dog walking, remember it's about you and how you deliver your message too.
Yeah, it's a good point. It's a bit like the sustainability issue. Find somebody that is passionate about it and an advocate of it, and they'll bring people along with them. So yeah, and then everyone feels it's part of their responsibility. Thick and fast, these questions. Anonymous attendee, we're moving from a back garden office as a massage therapist into premises. I've been recommended to go into smaller premises, which I would outgrow before moving bigger, instead of risking a large premises with space to grow. What would your suggestion be? Grow slowly or go big? Basically, if you've got two options going, what would you recommend? Very difficult without knowing the individual business, isn't it, really?
Wow, exactly. Ooh, okay. So, wow. So massage therapy. Okay. So that's exactly the sort of thing that we have with our clients, because we've got a client who's growing too fast. They've gone from three 3 members of staff to 25. We always encourage grow big, but make sure you can afford it, make sure you can fund it. Get some accountants on board, or really plan it. We plan 1 year, 3 year, 5 year. Would be happy to talk to that person actually about that growth, because it would be remiss of me just to say, oh, go for it, go big, and then you waste your money. What I would say is there an option to go for the bigger premises but sublet another bit, or get another person in who could do nails, beauty, I don't know, where you can share your client base as well. So somebody's doing massage, that would be my thing, but I'd want someone else to kind of look at the books and plan for that growth and budget for it. But yeah, sublet, go but yeah, I'm just going to say it, I'm in that kind of mood, Sam. Go big, but within limited things, sublet it to someone else who's got your same client base.
Yeah, as I say, I'll just keep these coming until as many as we can. Ken Edwards, that's a question I think a lot of people, I've heard businesses say to me. I'm a small air conditioning company in Hertfordshire. I struggle to come up with content for my social media platforms. Any thoughts or tips about how I can up my game?
Love that. Love that. We have an air conditioning business as a client, actually. Okay, again, it's back to your why. Is that Ken? Is his name Ken?
Yeah, Ken, yeah.
Ken, it's all about your why. What I would not want to see on your social media is something like, okay, we've got a blah, 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 very technical. Sorry, but who cares? If you were saying to me, oh, God, are you looking forward to the summer? But you're in a stuffy office that you can't work in, and your team are, falling apart. They want to go home early. Well, that's the problem. That's the problem. So how your air conditioning is going to solve that problem. So you're going to see motivated staff working all hours because you've put in their air conditioning. So if that's what you're doing, if you're going into office blocks, think what's in the mind of the business owner. You don't want your staff falling apart at 3 o'clock because they're overheated. You want them there, that sort of thing. Kind of slightly tongue-in-cheek, a bit funny, but play with that. You're solving a problem. Easy on social media, but I'm happy to talk to Ken as well afterwards.
Excellent. There's some loads coming. Peter Wolven, very straightforward question. Would you say Google My Business is a good marketing tool? I don't really know it, so I couldn't respond to it.
Yes, because that's the free bit of Google. If you think if you've got some, you just add photos and events and that sort of thing. Yes, use Google My Business, but again, you can track it. So before you post, work out how many people are visiting your site, just track it. It's that classic test and measure, but yes.
Excellent. Chips has said, I sell on eBay and Amazon online marketplace. How can I target my customers as I don't control the marketplace?
No idea. You'd have to talk to Amazon. I've got no idea. Sorry about that, Chips. No. Send me more details if you want, and I can try and find out. eBay, because that's specific to that platform. Don't know. Sorry.
It is. That's about honesty is the best policy. Marius, we've had a lot of things about smaller companies. Marius says, would you be able to give any advice on how to reach customers in B2B who are relatively big customers? We're talking about those in transport, shipping managers. How do you market to people, big companies, because they can sometimes be huge.
Wow. Great question, Marius. Absolutely brilliant, because they're very elusive, aren't they? Those CEOs or operations directors and things like that. First of all, LinkedIn, and you can use something called LinkedIn Sales Navigator to find those people, or you can search. If you know, for example, that they're all, I'm guessing, operations directors, you can search by then title. But it's, again, do you know what? It's good old-fashioned legwork. Get on the phone. I know it's hard. Try and get through the gatekeeper, because I would say LinkedIn if it's B2B at that top level, or keep abreast of what's happening in your industry. These people will be talked about, or they'll be writing articles, or they'll be know what's happening in your industry. Who are the game changers? Who's making things? Make a note of them. Send them a personal letter. Be different from your customers.
Excellent. I'm conscious I've only got 5 minutes. We're never going to get all the questions, but what I would say is that we will aim to send this out, a link. And so if you have got any questions further, or you want to email us anyway, we'll pass them on. But I'll try to get a couple more in before we can, with apologies to those that we aren't able to help. Gillian Cossey, that's a very good question, I think. What is the difference in marketing strategy if you're staying local or aiming for national?
Very simple, obviously. Cost. Well, again, it's how do you reach them? Like the example of the interior designer I used. If they are local, think about the appropriate way to reach them. If they're local, I think like Rita was saying earlier, that you can go and do a mail drop or a fancy brochure or deliver a gift. You can't do that nationally. So depending on your budget, you might do an e-marketing. We haven't talked about that actually, Sam. I'm so glad, because that's got me in. Email marketing. Everyone thinks it's old-fashioned and boring. It's brilliant. Learn how to do it. MailChimp is free. I'm sure the FSB will have something on this. Use email marketing. But again, give those value added. Get your email databases out there. That's when you start going national.
Excellent. Sharon Malpass asked a slightly different question, but an interesting one, because we've all perhaps been in this sort of situation, or many of us have. She's going to be doing an expo soon, and she's got a small stand. Which things do you suggest are important in terms of the marketing on your stand to attract people to the stand?
She's doing what? Sorry, she's doing
an expo. She's doing a business show.
Expo. Oh my goodness.
And she's got a small stand. What can you do to attract people to?
Right up my alley. This is where I started my career. What was her name?
That is Sharon.
Sharon, please be in touch. I absolutely love exhibitions and conferences. Right, don't just show up on the day. It's all about the pre. So get a VIP list going, your current customers, entice them. You put yourself in your customer's shoes again. What's going to make that person get out of their office, jump on a train, drive, park, whatever to you? Give them an incentive to come to your stand. Is it a special offer? Give them 6 weeks start. This is a brilliant example of a mini campaign. Start 6 weeks ahead with an invitation with all the details about why you want to go. When they come to your stand, give them a gift, give them something, a new sample of something just for turning up. Get more out of them. What do they want to hear from you? Obviously try and get them to buy whatever it is. Thank them afterwards. Get them on your MailChimp, whatever it is, database. Keep on with them. But I'd love to talk to her because I worked in exhibitions for many years.
I'd also say don't underestimate food. I remember at one stand we were getting no interest. The guy next had two open packets of Cadbury's Roses, loads of people. But we're all like that when it comes to food.
Food and drink.
Anonymous attendee says, morning, Anne. I've done an advertising campaign on Facebook to generate leads. There was a good response, but I found I didn't get much response from those leads. So my question is, are they actually reliable leads?
Well, I think they've answered, that person's answered it for themselves, haven't they? If they don't think it is, oh gosh, honestly, if Facebook advertising and Google advertising, start with what you know and who you know, and start with your existing customers and go out from there. And just do your own smaller, like the email marketing, like the Facebook, do the network. I'm not a fan, sorry, of advertising per se, especially Facebook and Google.
Right. Well, we've only got a couple of minutes left, so I'm literally just going to do two more, and so many, unfortunately, we've not been able to answer. But please email us, and we'll try and pass them on. This is from Mandy Chowdhury. How do you think of the why when it's a product-based business? Can you always solve a problem with products, or how to spin a product into solving a problem? That makes sense?
Yes, it does. And obviously, depending on the product, yes, you can. I'd say watch the Simon Sinek video. Why you're doing, does it, and once you start getting in your why, look at other things like cars. Okay, they're brilliant at this. The car companies don't sell on, did we watch it in the engine? They sell freedom, don't they? They sell an experience. They sell a holiday, a vision, a lifestyle. Yes, it can definitely serve a product. Feel free to email me what it is and I can help her with her why.
Brilliant. Okay, and I think looking at the clock, we'll probably have to close the questions now, but thank you so much, everybody. I mean, that's a fantastic, we have 42 questions. Sometimes we get 5 or 6, which is absolutely brilliant, but to get 42 shows how interested people are in this fascinating subject. And on behalf of you all, can I thank Anne for illuminating presentation, then some really good on the questions. You're going to go into politics, Anne, because there's a lot coming at you from all different angles and different subjects. No, actually, do you know what? Take that back. I wouldn't recommend that. But thank you, everybody. Thank you for joining us. As I say, this will be available soon on our app. If you've enjoyed today's event, please feel free to share that on social media or drop us a Trustpilot review. We're always glad to hear that. And just keep looking out for more events like this, and most important thing of all, keep marketing. Yeah, that's where there's clients out there just waiting for you, but you've got to get the right message. So hopefully Anne's helped you on that message. So thanks everybody. Still 100 right at the end, which is amazing. So thank you all, and we'll see you all again soon.